Hi, everybody. It's Laura Gwyn, Gail Gwyn Properties. This is LeAnn Lane of Ticor Title and Peter Harris, the Mid-Willamette Valley manager for Ticor Title. And LeAnn works with us full-time as our primary escrow officer. We do work with other people as well, especially right now during COVID. We're working with a lot of different people, but LeAnn is the one ultimately responsible for our clients and our closings, and she does a really good job. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the industry as a whole, before COVID, during COVID, after COVID, maybe where we see things going. So if you guys don't mind, I'd like to jump right in and ask you questions that I know a lot of people have.
Sure.
Is that okay? First of all, though, I'd like to hear a little bit about you, LeAnn first. I watch you on social media, so I know about you. I know what you do in your spare time, but I would love to hear a little bit about you personally as well as your profession.
Sure. So I've been in the real estate industry since 1989. Started really young as a transaction coordinator for a local realtor. And then about 5 years into that, got my real estate license, sold real estate for quite a while. And then in 2004, jumped over to the title and escrow side of our industry. So I've been in escrow since then. The reason I made that switch was because my husband is in full-time ministry. So in 2004, he was switching from a state job to full-time. And so that's why I jumped over to this side. So in my spare time, my husband and I co-pastor a church here in Salem. We started it in 2007. It's called Hope Point Church, and that keeps us pretty busy.
Yeah, I see you online, and I'm so thankful to see all of your YouTube services. I think
Awesome.
That's really great in this environment, very positive. But you did a little role reversal there in the professional stability.
Yes, I did. And it's worked out well for us.
Yeah. Peter, how about you?
So I have been in the real estate industry since about the fall of 1991 and became a licensed real estate agent in 92, and then made my move to the title and escrow side of the industry in 97, and have been in management since the end of 2001 with Ticor Title. Managed the coastal operations, the north coastal operations for a number of years, before moving here to the Willamette Valley in 2013 and taking over this operation. Married, have a wonderful wife who takes care of me and my 4 children very well while I'm here working for Ticor.
Great. So you're the numbers guy?
I'm the numbers guy.
You're the stats guy?
Don't test.
Yeah, I like the numbers. I'm not super analytical, but I do like the numbers. The numbers provide me stability, comfort, and real estate sales, it's a numbers game. It's all about the math.
And the numbers don't lie.
That's right. We like data, not opinions. So let's talk a little bit. Let's jump right in. I mean, LeAnn, I've got a ton of history with you. I know how awesome you are and your operation before COVID, and I could certainly bring people up to speed, but really honestly, before COVID, that's behind us. We're not going back there. I think that our world has changed. So let's talk, we won't jump ahead. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about during COVID. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about how you've been impacted by today's challenges, not just you, but we're talking about clients.
Sure. So, well, basically we started doing things differently here, in our office. That started with locking our doors, installing a doorbell and a drop box, and seeing customers by appointment only. In our signing rooms, we've installed plexiglass barriers between both, the signer and the notary. We are sanitizing our signing rooms before and after every signing appointment. We are wearing gloves during our signings. One of the big things that I miss about life before is where signers only are present now, so no realtors and no lenders. But we can always get them on the speakerphone and absolutely make them available if there are questions. We just don't have them physically there like we used to. A lot of us are working from home. So what we've done is we've sent half of our staff home so that if our office were to become exposed, then we would swap out and the people who are still in the office would go home and vice versa. So a lot of the escrow officers are at home because it makes more sense for the assistants to be here so that they can cut checks and do those types of things. And since we've sent most of our escrow officers home, we've got a couple of retired escrow officers who are handling the majority of our signings right now. So we're just trying to coordinate all of that. But like I come into the office if I have a heavy signing day. But that's kind of the changes that we've made and how we're trying to adjust to this new world.
Talk to me about going paperless.
Yeah, so that's definitely, it's something that like Ticor is something we've been working on for quite a while, but this has definitely forced us, especially those of us who are working from home, because we're not taking our files home. So we have a system where we store all of our documents, and we're just getting in the habit of making sure that every time a realtor sends us a sale agreement, a commission demand, an invoice, anything that the lender sends us, that we're getting that uploaded to our system immediately so that if someone needs to take and run with our file, everything will be uploaded already. So this has really pushed us to go paperless.
How do you guys feel about signing virtually?
So unfortunately, we can't do the notarization virtually yet.
Right. Isn't it about 23 states that are not approved? I think we're at about 23 states nationally.
Yeah, we're getting to about half the states. Many states have enacted an emergency acceptance of documents that have been notarized online, but we still have a lot of states that have not, including Oregon, which have not allowed our notaries to become certified to do what we call remote online notary, or RON.
Right, and that's at the federal level, and everybody's working on that.
Right.
So I do think it's coming. It's just not here today. But when I reference virtually signing of their documents, I mean, obviously they have to come to have the seller's original signature notarized on the deed. But how do you feel about everybody else signing electronically versus coming to the office physically?
Right. So we do have the ability to do DocuSign for anything that doesn't need to be notarized. So typically what I'll do is I'll present that as an option to the customer if they would like to DocuSign anything that doesn't need to be notarized, so it limits their time in the office. What I'm finding is most people would just prefer to come in and do the entire signing here, but I'm definitely presenting that as an option.
Okay. And then had you guys started presenting those documents via Zoom and then sending the documents in DocuSign like realtors do?
I haven't done that yet. I did have a couple of customers who had compromised immune systems that just did not want to come in the office, and I presented that as an option. And we were going to go that route, but then I had a notary that was able to go to them and they were comfortable with that. So we went that route instead.
That was actually my next question, is to talk about mobile notaries.
Yeah.
And they're fabulous. A lot of them that are area mobile notaries that I'm aware of, they're ex-escrow officers.
Right, like retired or former for sure.
Yeah, so it's been fabulous.
We try to use primarily about 4 or 5 local notaries, every one of which is a former escrow officer, and it works very, very well.
Yeah, I bet we're thinking of the same people.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. And so, realtors now, we're really virtual. I mean, Oregon is fortunate that we haven't had the number of cases that the other states have. That's another video, but all of those numbers, even taking that into consideration, we were a virtually based company before COVID, and we were a video first company. So our clients are used to signing. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and it's fabulous. We have held our appointments virtually via Zoom. And the beauty of that versus me physically being in a seller's home, for instance, is that I can screen share. I can show them right inside my MLS. They pop up with a question, we go there. It's not me fumbling around on a laptop or an iPad or something. We can do their walk and talk appointment where I pay the stager to come in and walk and talk and help them declutter. We have professional staging that can be scheduled. We can get their inspection scheduled. They can be right there scheduling online for their photography, videography, all of that. We review the listing forms, and then when I sell the home, we review the earnest money agreement contract and all of the forms. We sign by a DocuSign. So I just think it's where we're headed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And everybody loves it. So don't be surprised if anyone of my client base is like, what? You want me to drive there? I mean, it's one of your closings, I'm not going to say it on the video, but one of the closings right now that you have set up that's closing in 2 weeks, we listed it virtually, sold it to a guy out of state who bought it 100% virtually using our photography, video walkthrough, Matterport 3D. His realtor didn't even physically go in the home.
Wow.
Sold it. He did fly out here on Sunday to see the home he's moving to, just for fun, but it wasn't conditional. I mean, there was no back out clause based on, a visual inspection or anything. We sailed right through the entire process. He's happy as a lamb. The seller, who's a physician, is happy as a lamb.
That's
so
awesome.
They're probably going to want to sign here in a couple of weeks via Zoom. I'm just warning you. People might be like, what? You want me to drive there? See you in person? I don't know. We're enjoying it. We're enjoying every aspect of it. It's just been great.
Great.
What do you think would be something that our audience might want to know that maybe we didn't cover? Patience.
Yeah. Just to be patient with us. We're figuring all of this out as we go. And like I mentioned, a lot of us are working from home, but we're finding that to be true with a lot of the people that we work with as well. So in the lending world, we've got processors and underwriters that are working from home. And so not everything runs as quickly and smoothly as it did before. Everybody's figuring that out. So just be patient with us.
What I'm hearing over and over again right now, remember, everyone moved home. And so everyone had that learning curve.
Right.
So people are extremely compassionate right now. Their empathy ratings through the roof. And they've got kids running in the background. So They're not going to care if you have kids running in the background. That's our reality. And everybody knows it. I mean, look at that. I mean, how much work it was to physically go to sign a home at an escrow office versus doing it virtually now with their kids running in the background. They don't have to worry about arranging for a sitter or bringing their kids along or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of advantages to it. And I'm finding everybody being extremely kind and caring and compassionate.
Yes, and we're definitely finding that as well.
Yeah.
And over the last decade, technology has advanced very, very quickly, but our industry especially has not kept up with the use of the technology as quickly as it has advanced, whether it be the realtor side, the lender side, or the escrow side. And I'm excited. She talks about the need for patience and learning a new system or learning a new process. But I'm also excited by some of the efficiencies that we've already developed through all of this and finally implementing some of these technologies that have been out on outside, used in many different ways, that are now finally being pulled in and being used consistently and efficiently in our industry. So.
Yeah, and for any viewers that are watching and they're not familiar with the industry, the backstory that you don't have is the security and monitoring of all of the escrow industry. I mean, your security level is so insanely high and tight.
Yes,
absolutely.
As you can imagine, title and escrow companies handle a tremendous amount of non-public information on behalf of your clients, and it's paramount that we protect that information as best as we possibly can. And when you have staff working from home, and we've always had staff working from home in different parts of our company, far more now. LeAnn said 50%. That was phase one of our business continuity plan, but we actually have closer to 75% of our staff working from home at the moment. So we have to put pretty tight controls on our network for work from home situations. They're not working on their personal devices or computers at home. They're working on corporate devices so that they're all behind our firewall and protected appropriately. They're not capable even of printing anything outside of our secure buildings, so they can't print anything from home. They can't scan anything from home. They're very limited on that type of thing that could be a potential breach of our security measures. We've got to keep that in mind as we're doing this, and not that's an issue even in video signings and in the non-public information that we are discussing with clients, with customers during the course of the signing. We want to be very careful that we're password protecting our video meetings when we're doing signings, making sure that only people who appropriately should have access to our signings actually can. So we've worked over the years very diligently building those platforms, building those networks for security, not just in the normal work environment, but also in preparation through our business continuity plans for something like what we're facing right now. So, and our company has invested millions of dollars, just like many other companies, preparing our company for the future technology of our industry, but also for emergencies like this.
Well, I know that you guys are ahead of others because I've physically witnessed various things. I remember, it's been a little while now. I mean, it's been quite a while now, but I mean, I remember the day that you went to having your office locked down, for security reasons. When you think about social security numbers and forms and things like that, realtors, we were always just so used to being able to walk into title and escrow companies and roam around and go get what we need and talk to who we need and whatever. And I showed up one day and I was like, what do you mean they're locked? What do you mean? What's that door doing there? I can't look at them through the glass. What are you talking about? Do you remember that?
Yes.
When I walk in one day, I'm like, no, Bobby's right there. I just gonna get right there. Bobby, let me in. And he's like, I can't. It was a new world to us.
Yeah, it was an adjustment for us too, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but those of us that started back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I mean, yeah, we've been through a lot of changes.
Definitely.
Well, and the day of the 2 or 3 inch thick escrow file is long gone. Our files are barely 6 or 8 sheets of paper at any given time because everything is immediately stored electronically, and then the hard copies are destroyed. Again, to protect that personal information of the customers and clients. We have something it seems so basic and trivial, but we actually have what we call our clean desk policy, where you don't have more than the file that you're working on, the files that you're working on at that moment on your desk. And when you leave your desk, your files are gone and locked away to protect that information for our clients. So.
And then every night they have us empty our recycle bin, and it goes into a locked shred bin. So once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. But these are common everyday practices for us now that I don't think that the general public really understands. Let's take, we are a little bit short on time. We took a little bit longer than I expected, but I think it's really important for us to talk about cashier's checks versus wiring fraud and how prevalent that is right now. I just don't think that the average consumer knows how bad of a problem fraud is. I see it in a lot of different areas, but for this conversation, let's talk about wiring earnest money and purchasing funds, wiring out of the seller's net proceeds, and let's talk about the procedure for that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've run into with COVID-19 is bank lobbies being closed. So bank drive-up lines are long and can take a long time for people to get a cashier's check. So we really are encouraging people to wire, but we know there's a lot of fear surrounding wiring money. It's just what we try to let people know from the beginning of a transaction is, you know, we're going to give you our wire instructions. That's going to come through a secure email where you're going to be required to type in a password. We would never call you at the last minute and change those wire instructions. We would never wire you or email you a different set of wire instructions at the last minute. And we encourage them to call and verbally confirm those instructions once they've accessed them on their computer. We have that in our signature tag. We have that on our hold music on the phone. We really try to get that across. And as far as us wiring proceeds to their account, that's one of those things. I'm trying to get that information from the customer in person at the signing appointment. So even if they were signing everything via DocuSign, when they came in to do those couple notaries is when I would retrieve that account information from them. If I'm not able to get it from them in person, then if they email it to me or call me with it, I'm going to follow up with a separate phone call to confirm I've got the right routing number, the right account number, the right customer.
Yeah, but the emailing scares me because their email service is not secure.
Yeah, and I always encourage them not to, but people will do it anyway. So I will always follow up and confirm that verbally.
Yeah, but sellers, it's important to know you already have to go there to get your document notarized. So bring your driver's license and bring your savings slip or your checking account slip.
Right.
The deposit slip where you want your money to go. Yes. And then with buyers can wire their earnest money deposit and then they can wire their purchase funds.
Correct.
But always, 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 anyone listening to this video, you're always to have a verbal conversation with your escrow officer only. Your realtor isn't qualified and should never be giving that. You're never going to receive an email from anyone like your realtor saying, wire money to such and such escrow company at this account number. It just would never happen. So we're really trying to spread the word on that as well.
I appreciate that.
And one very important point to buyers, sellers, realtors, everyone, if you ever receive wire instructions, whether it be through email, snail mail, or any other method, you do want to verbally verify it every single time, and do so with a trusted phone number, either from one of the business cards or from the website that our website. Don't use the phone number that is contained within the body of an email delivering the wire instructions. Don't use a phone number printed on the wire instructions. Don't use a phone number other than one that you know and trust to be the correct number for the company that you're doing business with. Yeah. They spoof phone numbers, they spoof everything, and they're incredibly sophisticated. This is not some lackey that's just trying to trick somebody up once or twice. These are sophisticated operations with offices just like ours, of people sitting in front of computers with headsets, trying to steal money all day, every day. These are, the FBI refers to the wire fraud criminals, the organizations, as an industry. It is that big and that sophisticated now that they actually refer to it as an industry.
Yeah, I've heard that. So the National Association of Realtors is really trying hard to spread the word, but it really takes everyone on the ground level making sure that people understand what the procedure is. And so I just tell everybody that they have to hear LeAnn's voice.
LeAnn's voice is distinct, especially her beautiful laugh.
Yeah. So,
or my assistant's voice. For real though, because we work very closely and it's very common that I could be in a signing or something. So we always try, Sherry and I always try to introduce ourselves in the beginning of a transaction to the customer so that they know that they can talk to either one of us at any time.
Yeah, and Sherry is spelled Cherie. So if you see that on your paperwork, that is one and the same person. And you can reach LeAnn or Sherry at Ticor Title. Downtown Salem office is 503-585-1881. So we'll always be giving you that number. You can find it on their website. You can open escrow with them. And if you're a realtor watching this, you might want to consider listing Ticor Title on your next listing when you post it in MLS. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you
Very much for the interview and for bringing this awareness to the public. We appreciate everything that you do. You just do an amazing job delivering value day after day, never showing 1 ounce of grumpiness or complaint ever. I've never ever heard any tonality in your voice of stress or complaint. And I know how hard you work. I know the pressure. You work in a pressure cooker. So
appreciate you saying that. We appreciate you too. We appreciate your business and your efficiency.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
Just
stay safe, stay healthy.
Yeah.
Stay distant.
Yes.
We're all in this together.
And make it a great day. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Have a wonderful day, you guys. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
You too. Bye-bye.